This video is sponsored by PokeTownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCGO code cards. Want to start playing competitively? It's very easy to do so with instant email delivery with the codes, and they have a huge variety of codes up on their website, reaching from league battle decks, specific promo codes, or even the latest booster packs in town. So definitely check out PokeTownStore.com, and you can use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% off your next order. How wonderful is that? Also check out cardmarket.com. This is a European platform that I personally use every day. If you're a European player, you're obligated to check out the link in the description below. We're going to be able to check out Card Market, and you can buy cards and sell cards to people all across Europe, so definitely do so. You're going to be helping me out a ton. So definitely enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace! What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and welcome back to our deck profile video on my channel. We are still exploring new decks from battle styles very early on, so you guys know which cards you are wanting to look out for the new set. The set comes out in March, and we already have quite the reasonable amount of deck list on the channel. If you want to see something we haven't explored just yet, be sure to put it down in the comment section. And also, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't ever miss a daily Pokemon TCG video. So today, we are gonna talk about a new one price deck. I'm a huge fan of one price decks. I'm playing in the past Zapdos Jirachi, I'm playing Frozlaz at the World Championships, I'm playing Babybel Cephalon. This time around, a new one price deck, so that already gets me excited. And we're gonna be talking about Salazzle. So Salazzle is on the screen right now, and this is a Pokemon that is able to actually slap 90 damage for every special condition that the opponent is affected on. So that means if the opponent is poisoned, you slap 90 damage. If the opponent is poisoned and burned, you slap 180. If the opponent is poisoned, burned, and confused, you slap 270. And that for a twin energy. That's very, very powerful and very efficient. Just twin energy and slapping that huge amount of damage. That's sometimes even better than Mad Party. Mad Party has a very strong late game. That is something we know. But this can be as soon as the second turn, you can slap a huge amount of damage. And that's why I love this archetype. So the Salazzle also has 90 HP, which is very crucial because I don't know if you've noticed, but Level Ball gets a reprint, which is awesome, and Level Ball searches your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less. So we are going to be running 4 copies of the Level Ball just to scout out these fellas. We also have a new copy of the Bellsprout and a Weepinbell, and these going to help ourselves very nicely. Let's just talk about the Weepinbell first, because that's the obvious combo. So if you evolve your Bellsprout into a Weepinbell, you can leave the opponent poisoned and burned. And also, as you know, the poison will inflict 10 damage and the burned as well, so that's an additional 30 damage. So this is actually like playing a choice band, for instance. But if the opponent is poisoned and confused, poison and burn, you will actually slap a huge amount of damage, which is Salazzle. Let's just calculate real quick. If you evolve into Weepinbell, the opponent is poisoned and burned, and you actually slap 180 with the poison and burn. That's 210. So sometimes evolving V Pokemon like Centiskorch go down instantly, so you don't need anything other than that. But you can even drive it up a little bit better because we have access to none other than Yell Horn. 4 copies of Yell Horn in here, and Yell Horn will make sure the opponent is confused. You're also confused yourself, so you need to play down the Yell Horn and then evolve. So that is what you need to do. If you evolve first, then you need to get yourself out of the active position. We also run 2 copies of Bird Keeper, which does help with that scenario. And our main engine is going to be a little Snorlax engine. So we have 2 copies of Snorlax, we have 4 Quick Balls, and we have 2 Great Balls. So hopefully we find the Snorlax early on. We have Scoop Up Nuts and Bird Keeper, so we can get that Snorlax in the active position. And if you have Snorlax in the active position, you can draw cards with Gorman Dice, drawing cards until you have 7 in the hand. The main focus, of course, is going to be slapping down a couple of Salandits and Bellsprout. There's a new Bellsprout, which actually, this is the one you should include in your list, because this is able to slap 50 damage if the opponent is poisoned. And this very crucial because let's say you evolve into a Weepinbell, like we have a Weepinbell on the bench and a Bellsprout in the active position. The opponent is poisoned and burned. That is actually 30 damage as mentioned. And with, of course, us dealing that a damage of 50 damage, you can actually soften up Pokemon. But not only that, you can actually one-hit KO stuff like Galarian, Zigzagoon, and Jirachi. The only problem is that sometimes you confuse yourself with Galarian with the Yell Horn. So don't use the Yell Horn when it's not necessary. But the combo between Bellsprout and Weepinbell can actually get you a KO on a weak HP Pokemon, which is very awesome for sure. So we're gonna be running a 4-4 line of Salazzle. That's our main attacker. We also need 2 Ordinary Rod because otherwise we will run out of attackers, and that's something we don't want. I also think it's nice. We do run 2 copies of Boss's Orders, and that's going to be allowing you to take multiple prize Pokemon down. So Boss's Orders Dedenne, Boss's Orders Crobat. Sometimes you can even get a one-hit KO on VMAX Pokemon like Urshifu VMAX, for instance, because we have the 1 copy of Leon in here. If we have the Leon, we also have, of course, Eldegoss to get that Leon back. So same goes for like if you need that Boss Doors early on in the late game. We do have access to Great Balls and Quick Balls, and Eldegoss can get, of course, that supporter you always wanted. So that's very awesome. And if you use Leon in combination with Yell Horn, in combination with Weepinbell, the opponent will actually, if they have 330 HP, they get knocked out, which is awesome. And that's the exact same thing that we want to achieve here, to just knock out Urshifu VMAX. Also, if you're afraid of the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, I do suggest you try and include a Mew in here that protects your bench, because if they like spread multiple damage output with their attack from the Urshifu Rapid Strike shenanigans, you probably will go down very easily, and that's something you don't want. So maybe Mew could find his way in here. Also protect yourself against Cramorant Snipes, because we do run the Dedenne GX in here to just sometimes draw a bunch of cards. We have Crobat, Dedenne, and Eldegoss. And I'm a huge fan of the Snorlax engine, to be honest, because early on you're not going to be able to attack anyhow, unless you just, on the first turn you're never attacking, so it's always nice to just have Snorlax up front and use the Gorman dice to set yourself up with lots of basics. So with level balls and quick balls, you probably have Salandit, Bellsprout, then Gorman dice, drawing everything and then going crazy. I love the fact we're running 4 Research, 2 Marnie, and 2 Bird Keeper. As mentioned, the Bird Keepers are there just to put Snorlax out of the active position or in the active position respectfully. And we also have access to 1 counter stadium, and that's going to be the Turffield Stadium, which is able to get yourself Weepinbells from the deck. So we have Weepinbell from the deck with Turffield Stadium, level balls. That way you can use the level balls for Salazzle, and you should be good to go. We have 7 energies in total, and I think that should be enough. Sometimes you might even think like, maybe I need Oranguru, but bench space is a little bit tight here because you always like need the following Bellsprout to follow up with that. So this is going to be the way we should play it. So with 2 Ordinary Rod, the Ordinary Rods are mandatory for Salazzle, and with Scoop Up Net you can get the Weepinbell back in the hand to then reuse it once again. So, and also I do love the fact that in certain scenarios where you don't get the one-hit KO, you can just confuse the opponent, and if they don't have a switch card or something and you Marnie them to a low hand size, they might be like stuck, and maybe they flip a coin, they flip tails, they get 30 damage onto themselves because of the confusion. And I'm a huge fan of the Eldegoss in here because it saves you countless of games where you say like, oh, I need to hit 330. Well, Leon, bam, 330, and then again, next turn, Eldegoss, Leon, bam, 330. So you can actually one-hit KO 2 VMAXs. It is going through that with like stuff like Centiskorch VMAX having 330. You can one-hit KO Urshifu VMAXs. Yeah, the Eternus VMAX is a little bit on the higher end, but if they stay in the active position, they will still get poisoned, so they will need to get out of the active position. So it's a little bit more of a difficult matchup, but you can also boss Crobats in that matchup. And early on, maybe you can have a little bit of luck by your side where you're going to be able to one-hit KO something that's in the active. So, and with the confusion, you can also slow down Eternus players if they whiff on switch cards, because Eternus has a 3 retreat cost. And other than that, against Tag Team GXs, you shouldn't have any trouble. You one-hit KO ADP. You one-hit KO, Pikarom, you one-hit KO Mew, you hit for weakness against Zacian, Luke Metal, you just go through that. Although they could have the Metal Coating energy, your damage output is ridiculously high. The only counter for this specific archetype, I don't know if it's going to be like a very good archetype, definitely like worth exploring, because a one price that dishes out that much damage is reminding me of Blacephalon, and if a deck reminds me of Blacephalon, I always like make deck profile videos like these, and we want to just see how this list will perform. As mentioned, counters will be Galarian Rapidash. We haven't seen it just yet, but that prevents the opponent from being affected by special conditions, as well as Aromatic Grass Energy, I think, or is that only for attacks? I have to check here. Anyhow, also stuff like Cobalion GX, which makes sure that metal types don't have, cannot get affected by special conditions. Everything that blocks special conditions will be bad for this deck, but that does not seem to be very, present in the current format, so we shouldn't be worried about it at all. So, very huge fan of Salazzle. Let me know what you guys think about Salazzle. I think we talked about every single card in here, so early on, Snorlax is going to be the way to go. Use your quick balls and level balls to find yourself Salandits, and of course Bellsprouts, and you should be good to go from there on. Use Gorman dice, evolve everything, slap for huge damage. You only run 4 Yell Horns, so use them wisely. Sometimes they might end up in the discard pile thanks to stuff like Research, and we cannot get them back. So You might think about putting stuff like a Munchlax in here just to get them back, but that's very clunky to say the least. I'm a bigger fan of just using Gormandize, and the 4 Yell Horns are definitely sufficient. You can also go for 2 shots, because I don't know if you've noticed, but 180 already like 2 shots every VMAX in existence, so you can go for 2 shots as well. You still up trade. So little side note, maybe get some slots in for Mew. Also, Oranguru could save yourself some energies, but as mentioned, we don't have the bench space, so it all comes down to your personal playstyle. So also with Leon in here, you have 330 damage output, so and maybe a Great Catch could also be sufficient in here. Anyhow, let me guys know what you think about Salazzle Weepinbell. I'm very excited. If the cards come out on TCGO, we will be playing all of these decks, and you're gonna be seeing them on this channel first. So be sure you are subscribed so you don't ever miss out. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to mouse that like button, as it helps out the channel more than you would possibly think, and it actually helps to get the video to other people that haven't seen new content from Battle Styles just yet. Also, big shout out to our sponsors. Go check them out, PotownStore.com, and you can use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% off everything. So that means if you want to have some trainer toolkits to find the Dennis, you can purchase them on Potown Store. Stuff like Eternatus codes, Zacian codes, League Battle decks from ADP, Pikarom. It doesn't matter, they have everything. Go check it out. And also check out cardmarket.com. They are a European platform, and you can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. So if you're a European player and you want to buy some physical products from other people, that's the place to go. Anyhow, I wish yourself a very fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow with more TCG videos. Peace.